So,
Yes.
for those not aware, the finalist Final Fantasy arc has been running in this show for the past few, almost months at this point. We've been creating character arcs for these characters from Final Fantasy games, the side characters that people generally don't know much about, so that way we can kind of have like fun with their story and whatnot. And we're gonna do the final part, but of course we're gonna reveal before we do the final part. We're gonna have everyone show the story that they've already set up, so we are all in the loop for the final arc. And then we're gonna react and see what happens, and then compare and contrast with the actual usage of those characters in their respective games, which means slight spoilers for like minor characters in Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy VII. Very slight. None of these characters are too important to the main plot, so you're not going to learn any spoilers about the main plots, but side character stuff might happen. So I hope you're all ready, because we're just going to get into this. We've got a 7-minute video of the past of this show that we're going to start. So I'm going to switch us over to our new group reaction stream format.
Oh.
Reaction
pop up. I need to
now.
actually enable the video. So, see, this is the technical difficulties. We'll just give it 30 seconds. No, I put it on the wrong side.
Here's where it all falls apart.
It's working.
Not before at all.
Which means we're gonna do this in 5. You ready, Brett? On your end?
Yes, I am. I'm hovering over the play button, baby.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so what it looks like here is you're meeting this character in a very haunted mansion, or at the end of a very suspect dungeon here, and there's no loot or anything. She's just sitting in the corner.
I see why it's looking just straight
with all these creepy.
This one still images
dolls.
It's very ominous.
It says everything.
And she looks very calm. And not like she's being haunted or anything. Maybe like she's doing the haunting. She might be a ghost. Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows if she's dead? She's here right now. But oh boy,
20 seconds left.
Oh god. So I think there's going to be one side quest for each of these dolls, and there's a certain item you need to get. What you don't know is these items are something significant to.
Alex is ready to die over there.
Creating a ritual of some sort that she wants to.
It's because hearing your own voice,
not
man,
telling you everything.
It's
Oh, it's horrible.
She is part of a pastel steampunk cult. That is a series of words.
The complication here was that a second character was added that's involved in the story.
You know what? I'm thinking after all the dolls have been released from their demonic bonds, Ibarella's going to want to go on maybe some sort of a shopping trip. And this is this character has a doctorate in fashion. There's going to be probably some material gathering for a very special outfit that's going to be cool, and maybe gives people bonuses to fighting abilities and things like that you can get after you complete this part of her quest.
Okay. What else?
Yeah,
what's the lead up to the conclusion?
Doctorate in fashion. I think it might involve said doctor as well. Maybe there is an introduction to maybe a clothing workshop. That's a dungeon that you need to clear out, something like that, with evil clothing.
Okay, I see. All
These
right,
boots were made for stomping.
All right, so the main party in Final Fantasy VII is running around Midgar, right? And in the middle of the street, Cloud saves someone from getting hit by a car, and it's Johnny.
Okay.
And
good old Johnny.
And Cloud's like, what are you doing,
Wonderful
man?
Johnny.
Like, you just almost got hit by that car, as Cloud would of course say. And Johnny goes, can you help me? I woke up with this spiral on my thumb, and I've lost all my memories. All I see is the spiral on my thumb. I don't know where I am. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you have a big sword on your back. It's kind of scary. What's going on?
20 seconds left.
yeah, then he becomes a guest character for a little bit until you find a place with him that he recognizes as his apartment building, and then you bring him home and you don't see him for a little while after that. So, this is like way further in the game, right? You dropped him off at his apartment last time, and he's like he's gone or whatever. Maybe you forgot about him, but then he shows up again. And his entire hand is a drill now because of the spiral that was on his thumb. And he immediately runs up to Tifa and starts like talking to her, trying to like, whoa, yeah, my drill's pretty huge, right? Pretty impressive.
Could say it would pierce the heavens.
And exactly. And Cloud goes, what the heck are you talking about? And he just goes, man, you ever watch Gurren Lagann? I really like that show. Because they did a Attack on Gurren Lagann tie-in, and Cloud with about the same cadence as the line he says when Tifa or Aerith like compliments him on his dress wearing beauty. He just says, "I hate Gurren Lagann," and then that actually triggers a fight with Johnny, where you have to fight him and his drill hand.
All right, you got to prove yourself better than Johnny.
Yeah.
All right. And for context, this character's name is Mithril Mike. If that name seems ridiculous, I want you to remember the main character of Final Fantasy VII is called Cloud Strife.
Mithril Mike. Okay.
All right. So Mithril Mike saunters up to the party. What is his starting point? Your time starts now.
So Cloud and his gaggle of buddies have to get into this facility for some reason, and this guy is like, "Hey, I have this Bane style thing around my mouth. They basically took my ability to speak, and now it's been completely replaced with this weird metal face diaper that I have on my face."
Okay.
That was talking if they took away his ability to speak.
Says, "I will help you get into the facility. I'll be like an extra."
Don't worry. Don't think about it too much.
I'll be an extra pair of, I'll be an extra sword to the party and help you guys just like blow through these guys in order to get in there because I want my revengeance.
He wants revengeance. All right, I like it.
Yeah. And so
15 seconds
afterwards, so
really
they
go
get
to Metal
in
Gear
and they
with
blow
this.
a bunch of stuff up, and then he begins to enact his revenge. But it turns out the guy that's running this facility is part of this ancient order of evil people that Cloud is going after, and he escapes. And Mithril Mike is like, "Yo, I will join you guys and help you on your adventure because it'll get me closer to this guy, and I could join your party, and so it's a lot safer to get to him that way."
All right, so you're saying he's a party member. Okay.
Sure. Why
All
not?
right, let's pull everyone else back in and resume our normal episode.
Okay, so we'll pick up right as he joins the group as they're going off and searching for something or other that I can't remember. And during their travels, the bridge from one town to another has been completely just demolished, and so they have to go through a cave. Yeah. And as they're in the cave, they're fighting all sorts of baddies, but they realize that this isn't just any regular cave. This is a whole laboratory where they exclusively develop and manufacture giant, hilarious metal chins, just like the one on our main character here. And so it was he that actually blew up the bridge and sidetracked the entire team just so that they would go through the cave, that they had no other choice. Because this is where he will get his revenge on the man that created them. But upon figuring out that he blew up the bridge, the entire team is just torn apart. And the man that he's come here to fight has unfortunately escaped. And now the team is in ruins because they don't trust each other because Mithril Mike is kind of an asshole. So,
okay,
he's a hack fraud, is what he is.
He is a hack fraud, and with that, you guys are all caught up to the narrative of each of these side characters. God. So we're just gonna go through in the order we've been doing it. Alex, you're gonna be first, and tell us the ending point. What is your last interaction after the demon clothes and the doctorate in fashion? with Ibarella and Dr. Derrier?
Last interaction with them.
And you have 60 seconds. So,
I believe.
I don't really think it's anything going to be that major. You're just going to go through the clothing warehouse dungeon, and then I think afterwards, from what very little I know of 14, this completely messes with its mechanics, but I'm still going with it. The dungeon is now converted into Ibarella's new store that she runs.
14 can do that. I can confirm there are instances where that kind of thing can happen.
Oh, then that absolutely happens, and she runs it either she does or the person with the doctorate in fashion does, but she becomes a new clothing vendor.
All right, is that it? That's the end? Clothing vendor?
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. You had 20-something seconds left, so...
Maybe it's anticlimactic, but hey, you get a new person to shop from.
You get a new,
True,
you get
true.
a new NPC.
Shopkeeper.
That's
All right, Brett, that means you're
boy.
next up on the docket with Johnny. I hope
the dramatic
you've
Johnny
got
finale.
the dramatic end for us ready.
What happened to his spiral?
The wonderful
I've got
spiral.
a tearjerker.
I can really tell by the fact that I can't see your eyes right now.
It's because I'm crying.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotta stay strong for the camera.
My time didn't already start, did it?
No, I'm starting it now.
Okay, good. All right. So last time you saw Johnny, you fought him to kind of just like prove that you were better than him, and he kind of was like he was in a rut, and you don't see him for a while until actually nearing the end of the game, and they're the Cloud and the party are trying to get to a place, and in front of them, flying down from the heavens with his one big wing, Sephiroth interrupts the party and they engage in a fight, and it's not looking good. Cloud's party is being like brutalized by Sephiroth because he's Sephiroth, man. But then at the last second to save the day, in comes Johnny with his giant drill hand, and he parries Sephiroth, and he holds him off for like a solid 20 seconds, and he shouts at everyone to go ahead, he'll hold them off. You made me learn something about my character, I guess.
Friendship?
Yes, a friendship and drill and piercing the heavens. And then
15
and then
seconds
he and
left.
Sephiroth fight as the party leaves, and right as the party jumps off the building or whatever, Sephiroth kills him, but only after he earned his happiness. And
From
they
the
got
party.
away. Yes.
All right, great.
That's it.
Wonderful. Wyatt, you're our last in place to capstone Mithril Mike's story. What is his finale?
You said my trigger word, capstone.
Oh, great.
No.
Yeah, no. So the party in complete disarray after Mithril Mike just screwed everyone over, and they all hate each other. But Cloud is determined. He's like, I have to finish this quest that I'm on that I didn't specify in the other two parts, but we're just going to roll with it. And he's like, this has to end. This story has to end before it goes on too long. So he just walks up on his own. He's like, I'm going to go attack the Shinra building that's giving me all the exposition to the world at the end of the game, right to where the final boss is. And he's like, all right, I'm just me. It's just on my own, but I can do this. And then he starts fighting, and then just as he's about to lose, Mithril Mike just comes in for that save,
the clutch save,
that beautiful, the clutch save. And so they start fighting the boss together, and then the sound of their fight rings out to the rest of the city, and the other party members that I also didn't specify are like, oh my god, they need our help. So they run in, and there's this giant final fight, and Mithril Mike saves the day by taking off his face diaper and then putting it on the main boss guy, and then
the final
boss
villain
guy. And then the main,
Yes.
and then the main villain boss guy dies because
he can't breathe.
His face doesn't work with the Bane mask. And then Mithril Mike is like, "Yay, I saved the day!" And then he was like, "Wait, crap, I can't eat anymore." And then cut to black credits.
Oh my god. What an ending.
Wow, that is extremely impressive. I am very happy
the
with that
fans,
ending.
Both
fans of the series may not appreciate some of the creative choices that were made, and I understand that. But me and the team, as in me and myself, just wanted to give you the best story possible. And we just wanted to please, we just wanted to make sure the fans were satisfied. So.
Writer's room of 20 people for just Myth or Mike. All right.
Gotta get it right.
Well, we've officially concluded all three of our stories. It's time to retire the finalist Final Fantasy Fantastical Championship Cup. I don't remember if that was the name I gave it last time, but it's the name we're using now.
It's the name, yeah.
I think inconsistency has been the running theme.
Of course.
Fits.
Well, that's the running theme for the show. So,
I mean, sometimes we have faces and sometimes we don't.
I need to leave it up to you three. You three got to vote for the best story among the three. It's no longer about who's closest. We established that a long time ago, that if you could go ridiculous with this, as the spiral finger has proven. So we're not going to go by who's closest. We're going to go by whose was the most fun. So, Brett, whose did you enjoy the most?
You
can vote for yourself if you want to.
Well, I'm just too humble for that. Right?
Of course, I can really tell.
But as much as I play every game that I play for fashion, for that character customization, for that brand new NPC with that whole new dungeon shop, I gotta give it to Mithra Mike's dramatic entrance at the end for the help of the final
finale
boss
of the game.
I just turning characters that are supposed to like each other against each other. That's like Captain America: Civil War. That's what I'm all about, man. Mithra Mike, give me exactly what I need with that narrative.
Right. Alex?
Oh, absolutely, Mithril Mike as well.
Okay.
I mean, we have a designer in here that specifically. Come on,
really?
All right, Wyatt, are you gonna join the crowd and vote for yourself?
Man, y'all have morals. That's really cute. I'm voting for myself. No, I mean, honestly, the moment that I saw the spiral on the thumb, I was just instantly engaged in what was happening.
And you have personal experience with Johnny now as well.
I do. You play an entire 30-hour game with a character named Johnny. You think you know the man, and then you hear the true story from Brett, and you realize
you don't know anything at all.
That Johnny you thought you knew never really existed to begin with, and it was just very eye-opening.
Poetic.
The Johnny was the friends we made along the way.
That were then killed mercilessly.
Johnny is about family at the end of the day.
Well, Wyatt, you have officially won the Fantastical Finalist Fantastical Fantasy Challenge Championship Cup. Your award is literally nothing. So I hope you are enjoying it very much. But with that, it's April Fool's Day, everyone. We realized I realized like 2 days ago that this is the podcast episode that's coming out on April Fool's Day. Or 2 days before April Fool's, but it's the one closest to April Fool's. Everyone gets what I'm talking about here. And, I've been asked by the other hosts consistently, are we doing anything for April Fool's? And my answer was always no. Because, of course, I thought we weren't, and then I realized this conveniently has fallen on the April Fool's Day episode completely unplanned. But that works because...
Hey, we delay something long enough.
We were actually... The goal of this was never to compare them to the real stories. Because obviously, like, Johnny's such a minor character in 7 that it's not that fun to compare and contrast. But what is fun is to reveal that this entire game was 2 truths and a lie the entire time. And one of these characters, or character sets, completely doesn't exist. So now I want to see if you guys have guessed which one doesn't. Brett, you're out of the game because you know. You were in on the joke, so you're out for now. Alex and Wyatt, which one of your characters is not real? See the thought process going with both of you.
Good. Yes, let them fight among themselves.
Wait.
I feel like we need some Jeopardy music going on.
Wait a second.
I think Alex had a sudden revelation.
Any image can be faked on the internet.
All right, I'm gonna ask you first
viable.
because
I'm gonna go with Alex's character.
All right.
Exist.
Now, Alex, would you like to do the honors?
All right. Yeah, sure. I'm going to go with Mithril Mike.
Yeah, Mithril Mike doesn't exist.
Oh
Nope.
no!
Mithril Mike is not real.
Not a real character at all.
Mike is not real at all.
Shucks.
Right, would you like to tell us the origins of Mithril Mike?
So Mithril Mike is a classic character of jest in a different circle of friends. And one day we just decided to prey on some of ye poor fools who don't know a lot about Final Fantasy games and just talk about, oh man, I can't wait to see what they'll do with Mithril Mike in the next Final Fantasy VII remake game when the next disc comes out. And so to further this, I took an image of concept art of Cloud Strife and I traced over it. And that is the concept art for Mithril Mike that you were provided with, because he is not real, but in order to make him real, I made him. And I unfortunately lost the original image file and only had the one left over that I made like 240p. So that's why it looks like garbage. It's because the only picture I had left of it was that. So there you go. We made a whole like thing about him being like of his like style being like a reference to like a Final Fantasy 3 boss and everything, and how like he fights with the party or whatever and is only in like the Mithril caves, but none of that matters because you've been japed. He is not real.
See, Ryan was pulling some shenanigans behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard about this on the podcast, but up and down, whenever we would talk about this, either on or off stream, Mike was like, "Wow, you got your version of the story is actually very similar to the Mithril Mike story in Final Fantasy."
No, I never said the Mithril Mike story. I said your version of the first arc was oddly close to one of the regular character stories in FF7, like the. But
you made it seem like you were talking about Mithril
Oh, of course I did, but I wasn't. I
course.
never said that it was Mithril Mike. I was like, it's pretty close to a character story.
This isn't water.
Absolute master of gaslighting.
This is not water, by the way.
Well, there was everyone's favorite
This
part.
is Wyatt.
Everyone's favorite part of a piece of media is always when the end reveal is that the villain was really the friend that you had all along.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought today that I would just be revealing myself as a villain to Wyatt. But unfortunately, there was another dupe going on this entire time.
Oh.
This was not two truths and a lie. This was two lies and a truth. Alex,
Oh
your
my
characters
Lord.
were also fake.
I didn't even know about
I had the because it was down to me and Wyatt. I had the tiniest sneaking suspicion at the end. But you,
Oh my God.
absolute genius.
So, Ibarella,
Wow.
Ibarella and Dr. Derrier are two wonderful people in my free company in the game that were willing to help out. So, hi guys, if you're watching, but absolutely
My God.
wonderful job coming up with
I
these
have
fake
been
characters.
absolutely tricked, hoodwinked, and bamboozled.
I'm scared now. I feel like I'm next.
I was double gaslit.
We programmed
Ryan
Johnny
was
into
part of the
FF7 just to make you think he was real.
He was fake, so in order to make you think that he was real, we made him real.
We created the monster.
Oh my god! Wow.
God.
So now that we've gone through our fair share of tomfoolery and whiplash,
You know what? This is just like my character arc. You've lied to the whole party, and we're being torn apart. We no longer trust each other. This is a situation of life imitating art, and it's crazy to
Well,
see.
Wyatt,
unfold.
it was-
I am a
it was
prophet.
great.
I knew this was going to happen.
it was great when you asked me like 2 weeks ago if we were doing an April Fool's thing, because I had to just be like, no, of course not. That would be dumb.
And why this is actually the best case scenario for you, because the original plan for this was for this to go on for as long as physically possible, because we were just like, oh, Wyatt doesn't care about Final Fantasy VII
Then you
at
started
all. But
playing
then you played,
7.
Yeah, then you played the game. We were like, well, I guess we just got to tell him then.
We can't keep going with this.
You could have kept going though, because I would have been like, okay, well maybe he's not in in the first part of remake.
Well, then
He's
what do we do
probably
when
in
the
some
second part
other-
starts coming around, or when you start to think about it?
Then you time it. Then you
Then
time it.
final.
Then you time it where it's like, oh, we got to do the episode now that it's out. Like you could have dragged this out for a lot longer.
Well, hey, now you don't know if there's anything else.
Because God knows when remake part 2 comes out. Like given Square, it's gonna be another like 15 years. So like,
True.
you know.
Yeah, that is actually very true.
Right.
It's gonna be a couple years at least.